jerseys have been unveiled, and I can tell you with certainty they look sharp. You guys are some of the first to wear this sort of new again look for the team. What does it mean to you? How does it feel to be donning the new jersey that especially with the gold and the Edmonton across the front?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, coming from Ontario, Niagara Falls, right, wasn't a huge Edmonton fan growing up, obviously, right? So I didn't know too much about the history. But, once you get here, you kind of hear about everything. And the gold numbers were big to the fans, right? And I think that was a right step, getting these gold numbers to start the new year off right. And I think it's going to be fantastic. And I think it's really big that we got Edmonton on the uniform, too, instead of the Elks. Kind of more of that EE way for everybody.
I think they're sweet. I mean, I don't know. I think they're iconic. I think they try to take, the something from the past, but give it a new edge. But I think it's something that, fans will look at and be like, bring back memories, a little bit of nostalgia in it, but also, like I said, with a modern edge.
Does it mean something special to be wearing Edmonton across your chest, specifically on all these jerseys?
Oh, totally. For more reasons than just the club being the club and this rebranding, it's obviously an opportunity has presented itself for me to come back, and Edmonton being home, it's kind of a special, unique, personal reminder that it's like, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I'm super excited. The jerseys look great. Hats off to the crew who put it together, and they knocked it out of the park. So it's a blast.
I know it's your first year here, Tyrell, but I wonder what it means to you to put this on, and just how it compares to some of the other uniforms you've worn. Just what do you think of the green and gold?
The green and gold, I think it looks nice, but I think the biggest thing I've realized since being here is the support from the community is crazy. Like Winnipeg, I mean, we sold out the stadium and everything, but as far as like the support from the fans, like stuff like this, I've been to like 4 or 5 things like this, and the fans definitely have our back, so I'm excited to put on a show for them.
100%. Now, like just jerseys specifically, how many jerseys do you guys get to take home over the course of a year, or like jersey swap with somebody on the field? Is that at your discretion, or would the trainers get like mad at you if you gave away too many? How does that work?
I mean, I think you can technically give away as many as you want, but you do have to pay for them. So they're not free, right? So if you do a jersey swap, or if you want to take your jersey home at the end of the year, you got to pay for that stuff. So
interesting. Okay, I did not know that. It feels like the culture reset that everybody was looking at from the outside and suggesting may be taking place. I get the sense that that's happened, and you're inside the room. Can you shed some insight into that?
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Like it's the guys are excited. We're very inward focused. This is kind of a refreshing little side idea of seeing the outside world. We want to stay focused on the job, and it's winning football. And this is just kind of a nice little treat to see on the side that everyone else is rallying around us, and we're trying to block out the noise, and we're trying to stay focused on the task. But it's sure sweet to see everyone getting fired up with us.
What does it mean to come out and do an event like this? And I'm blown away by all the support, the turnout.
Yeah, totally. It's super cool to see the vibe more than anything. Like people are excited. They want to see this team succeed. They want to see the fruit of the labor. There's been so much work and so many people working so hard to flip this organization and get it back on its feet. And so much credit goes to Larry and Chris Morris and Ed Hervey and Coach Kilam and all these people and all the support staff that goes unmentioned. But it's just so exciting to see the energy and the excitement around the club right now, and we want to run with it so bad. We just want to run with it and find some success early.
This is a great setup. Shout out to the events guys for putting this on, but love to see the fans. Everyone's excited about the jerseys, and hopefully we can carry that momentum into Saturday for sure.
Tyrell, your first training camp here in Edmonton, and first for both of you guys under Mark Kilam. I wonder what you could say about, and starting with you, Tyrell, just about how Kilam ran camp this time around and what the experience was like.
I mean, he took care of us for sure. This is definitely the best I felt going into a season. I mean, I don't know about him, but like my legs aren't sore. Like I'm good. I definitely have some energy for the game. So I mean, it's been good, and again, he's a coach that you want to go play for. I had a little interview earlier, and I was talking about him. He's not only a good coach, but he's just a good dude. He's someone you want to play for.
The new era is upon us, it feels like 100%. And you talk to the players, they're all feeling so excited and almost like rejuvenated coming out of this training camp. Can you talk about the camp that you put on and your satisfaction level with how things went over the last few weeks?
100%. I thought we had a great camp. I really did. And, right from, starting with the type of guys that we brought in, we were asking them to be professionals and act a certain type of way, practice a certain type of way, and they bought in right from the start. So then, Ed and his team were incredible. They set it up where, the coaching staff just had to worry about football and focus on that. The food was outstanding. When it was time to work on the field, we were working. We got off the guys. We had 4 different pool days to try to kind of get their legs back. And, we're as healthy as we've ever been coming out of a training camp in my 20 years in the CFL.
It seems there's a lot of forward thinking with your camp in particular.
Yeah, I have a strength and conditioning background. I'm not saying that was played into it, but I do. And we tried to build up progressively the overload on the legs. If you look at studies, the 4th day of training camp is usually when you have a ton of soft tissue injuries. So we didn't even practice that day. We were in the pool. We did some team building stuff, some meetings. So we tried to, every time we had a heavy day, like a padded, heavy, high volume day, we backed down the next day. So we still got the work that we needed. We still competed tremendously hard. We still had a physical training camp when we did have shoulder pads on. But we got off and we backed off the guys when we could. And I think hopefully, we fly out to the coast, we feel juiced, and we can get after it.
I was just talking to Mark Kilam about the way that he structured your training camp. Seems like there was a lot of science, a lot of forward thinking that went into how he managed your guys' bodies over the course of that few weeks.
Yeah, totally. Coach Kilam was very thoughtful in terms of how he wanted to roll out camp, and he has looked after us. And I'm certainly somebody that can attest to the fact that I feel great coming to this camp. And I've done some other interviews lately, and some of the questions were surrounding camp and how you're feeling coming out of it. And it really is the case that you over the years, you come out of some of the harder camps and you think, okay, like this is kind of my clock, my timeline. This is how I feel. This is maybe how much I got left in the tank. I feel rejuvenated. I feel like this is a camp where I can come out feeling super confident physically, confident mentally, and confident in the group and our belief. And that's a whole part of the game that kind of gets overlooked sometimes. Like, guys, you physically have to get ready and you mentally have to get ready, but even that belief factor is a huge deal, and we have it.
Which is great, because I think for a lot of the last few years, that would be the main element that was missing from this marketplace, right? So to have somebody like yourself come back into the room and help instill that again. I know, on the other side of the ball, Jake Seresna's got to be a huge part of that, and just having that natural growth of a leadership core, if you will. Like, I just see so much positivity around, and that's from the outsider's perspective again. Inside the room, it's got to feel pretty warm and cozy these days.
Yeah, no, it feels pretty organic. Guys are in it, and they're here because they want to be here, and they were selected to be here because they want to be here. Mm-hmm. There's no guys that are kind of just floating along, kind of enjoying the ride. We're all here ready to get to work, no matter what your role is on the roster. We're all here ready to work, and that's super exciting. You can see the fire in guys' eyes. Like, we're ready to rip, and we can't wait to get out there.
I know the defense had the advantage through a lot of camp, as it often does. I'm coming to understand. Tyrell, what was it like for you guys to take the field, your units, and to get out there and some game action in the green and gold?
It was obviously good. Everybody working together and against another team. Yeah. Obviously, thankfully it wasn't too crazy. Training camp, Trey wasn't running around, so Nathan Rourke didn't really do much running either. But it was good to have everybody together competing. We were still missing I think what's his name? 91. What's his name? Brinkman. We were missing Brinkman. I think he's a big part of our defense. He's a monster in the interior. But our whole front seven's good. We're communicating. We're having fun. It's gonna be a good year.
What's it like to be back in town, playing alongside Mark Cordy and Martez Ivey on the line, and you've got Trey under center? There's got to be so much excitement from the standpoint of just getting out there and playing some football.
Yeah, you know what? There's definitely some familiarity, but on the same token, love those guys. Corte, Trey, Tez, like, these are some great guys that I've played with. But even knowing them previously, this feels different this time.
Really?
It's really, really awesome. The groups are great, and that's not just the team as a whole. Like, each individual group seems to be really firing on all cylinders, and guys are excited. Guys are smiling in the building. They're putting in the work. You can see them grinding. It's a real treat. I got a lot of belief in this group, and it's very clear the community does too.
Trey, how nice was it to get some preseason action in and finally get a game where you're throwing against somebody else for a change?
Yeah, it was great. I thought we played pretty well. I mean, there were some good things and bad things in the game, but it was nice to definitely see a different defense than our defense, right? And I think our defense is really, really good. They give us some trouble in practice, but I think it's nice to go play another team, and I can't wait for the regular season to actually start and get rolling.
Obviously, a lot of moving pieces during the preseason, even in that second game there. What were you able to discern, your biggest takeaways that you're satisfied with after a couple of games?
Yeah, I think something that we've been talking about a lot is playing complementary football, and I feel like when you look at that game, it started with the goal line stand from the defense. It gave us some life, gave us some belief. We had a couple big returns to put the offense in position to score. We followed it up with the critical cover on special teams. So that's the thing I was most pleased with was we leaned on each other. We tried to be a three-phase football team, and that's what led to the win, and that's what we want to build on for sure.
Probably not a lot that you're going to be able to take from a preseason game and apply in week one, but I wonder, just in terms of handicapping that opponent in the BC Lions, what you know about them, what you're hoping your guys are going to perform like on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can take too much. It's going to be a different roster. Week one is kind of crazy in the CFL because everyone kind of goes in blind. Yes, you do scouting and you break down what that coordinator did at whatever other team he was on before that. But everybody holds things back in the preseason. They do all these studies in the offseason to try to better whatever they believe in, whatever philosophy they believe in, whatever scheme they believe in. So week one is going to be a smorgasbord of things, and we've got to stay the course and do the little things right, like take care of the football, keep our plays on the board, so avoid taking penalties and do the things that we need to do to overcome adversity on the road.
As far as the game upcoming this weekend, what can you tell me about BC and what you're anticipating from their defensive line, who you're going up against?
Yeah, there's some great players. Think of guys like Dwayne Hendricks. Think of guys like Tavad, number 99. Think of guys like Thibaut Dubai, who spent a little stint in here in Edmonton, and Christian Covington, guy that spent some time down south as well. Mm-hmm. They got their star-studded, and not to mention Matthew Betts, guy who spent some time down south and has been a terror in this league over the years. So they got great players. They have great players, and we're obviously preparing for Benavides and his time that he spent here in the league through a variety of teams. So we don't know exactly what we're getting into, and as they're preparing the same way, but you kind of got to prepare with what you can and be ready to play as fast as you can. You got to just trust the system and believe in that what we put in, what we've installed. If we just play fast, it doesn't really matter what we see. We're gonna find success no matter what they show up with.
You've had a couple different experiences here, Trey, in Edmonton. I wonder what made this one different than perhaps in years past.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think having Kilam here is awesome. It's definitely a big change from what we had in the past. And I mean, my favorite thing about him is that he's actually a special teams coordinator, right? So he's really big into the special teams, and I think that's great for a head coach. So it's not too one-sided, right? I mean, sometimes you get those coaches who are, an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator, and then I feel like practice might be more kind of scripted for them, right, going in that direction. So I think it's nice that we have a nice balance. We can play a three-phase football.
Thank you very much, Tyrell and Trey Ford. Appreciate you both. You're looking sharp in the jerseys. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Looking forward to watching it unfold. Mark, thanks for jumping on the air with us tonight. I appreciate you very much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We'll let you get back to the mixing and mingling here, David. Real pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Brenden. Thanks.